Now if we come to third point, crystalline solid has definite latent heat of fusion. It has definite latent heat of fusion. But in case of amorphous solid, it do not have fixed latent heat of fusion. It do not have fixed latent heat of fusion. Latent heat of fusion means whenever states change take place. Suppose we have matter and it is in particular state, solid state, and we are converting this into liquid state, then the amount of heat required at certain temperature to convert that material into liquid state is called latent heat of fusion. So in case of latent heat of fusion, what happens? Crystalline solid has fixed latent heat of fusion, but amorphous solid do not have fixed latent of fusion. Like melting point, this is fixed, and in case of amorphous solid, it is not fixed. It will change. Sometime it may become high, sometime it may become low. Fourth point is, if we talk about crystalline solid is so crystalline solids have definite heat of fusion or latent heat of fusion. Now next point is, crystalline solids are anisotropic, while amorphous solids are isotropic. What is this isotropic and anisotropic? When we take certain properties of matter like electrical conductivity, refractive index, and dielectric constant value, then these properties in case of an anisotropic substance is different from different angle. If you measure the electrical conductivity, refractive index of a crystalline substance in different direction, then you will get different value. Means these properties are direction dependent in case of crystalline solid. If we measure along the y-axis, you will have different property. Suppose if we have crystalline solid, if we see this solid here, suppose this is our x, y, z axis. This one is our y-axis, x-axis, z-axis, and we have this crystalline solid here. Suppose this is a crystalline solid and here constituent particles are present. We have constituent particles. So in case of, this is our crystal, if we see this, this is our crystalline substance. So if we take this crystalline substance and if we measure these properties like refractive index, electrical conductivity, dielectric constant value from x-axis direction, then we are getting certain value, but this value is not matching when we measure this from y-axis. As a material, it should have same property whether I measure this property from x direction or y direction, but crystalline solid have property that if we measure this value from x direction, it will come something else, If we measure from y direction, it will come something else, and if we measure from z direction, it will come something else. Means it is direction dependent. This property depends from which direction I am measuring. So whenever we have to define electrical conductivity or refractive index of crystalline solid, we have to mention the direction from which we have measured this property. So this is called anisotropy. This is not same from all the direction. That's why it is called anisotropy. There is anisotropy in measurement. But when we talk about the amorphous solid, it is isotropy. Next one is, if we cut the crystals with knife edge, suppose we have a crystal, this is our crystal, and if we cut this solid with a knife, if we cut it with knife, then it will cut completely with sharp edge. We can cut it like this. We can cut this fragment. We can cut this fragment from here. Means to say that if we cut crystalline solid with a knife, then we may cut it like we slice bread, like that we cut it completely. But if we take amorphous solid, suppose any glass, and we try to cut it, then it will give blunt ends like this. It will cut into small fragments like this. Suppose if we are trying to cut the glass, then glass will not be sliced by the knife, it will break into fragments, it will give blunt ends, different ends will be given. But if we cut the crystal with knife, it will cut completely. So this is the difference between solid and amorphous, crystalline solid and amorphous. Cooling curves. So if we see here the cooling curves of two types of solids, this one is for amorphous solid, this one is for amorphous solid, and this one is for crystalline solid. So if we compare the cooling curves of these two types of solids, then you can see here clearly that over the time the cooling curve is smooth in case of amorphous solid. It decreases smoothly. On decreasing temperature, curve we are getting smooth. But if we take crystalline solids and if we cool this solid, this one is liquid state, liquid, and this one is also liquid. If we cool both, then we get 2 points here. Suppose this is B and C point. You can see here curve is not smooth. Why this is happening? All we know that when change of state takes place, in that case when it starts to solidify, temperature becomes constant till complete liquid is converted into solid. So because of that we can see here that in case of crystalline solid, this curve is not smooth. At B and C, up to B and C, temperature remains constant. Over the time, temperature does not decrease, and after when all the liquid is converted into solid, then temperature starts to decrease. This is the solidification. At this point, solidification takes place, solidification into crystalline substance. Means here crystal formation takes place. At this point crystal formation takes place, and then we can decrease the temperature. So this was the comparison on the basis of cooling curves. So from these two curves we can say that amorphous solids are not true solids. Only crystalline solids are true solids. We can say that crystalline solid is true solid, while amorphous solid is not behaving as a solid, and so it is called supercooled liquid. That's why it is known as supercooled liquid. You can see this phenomenon in old building. If you see the glass of old building and you see the window pane of very old buildings, then you can see that the bottom of the window pane be thick while the upper part of the window becomes thin, because when glass is kept for long time, gradually glass starts to move. Very low fluidity of glass material, it starts to flow downwards, and when it starts to flow downwards, the bottom of the window pane becomes thick and the upper part becomes thin. So we can say that amorphous solids are supercooled liquid while crystalline solids are true solids. During the process of cooling in amorphous solid, we know that up to some extent in short range order, molecules are in a particular order. Means if we talk about the crystalline solid, it has long range order, but if we talk about the amorphous solid, its order is very short. It shows short range order. On this basis we can say that amorphous solid up to some extent is crystalline. Means that part of the amorphous solid which shows proper order, no matter it is short, but up to that extent. Suppose if we are taking this one as amorphous solid, suppose this chalk, and up to this point this is in order, but after this point if this is not in order, then we can say that up to this part it is crystalline, and after then it is amorphous, because up to this point constituent particles are in order. So this part of the amorphous solid which is in short range order is known as crystallites. The term for this is used, crystallites. So what is crystallites? Crystallites are part of the amorphous solid in which up to some extent constituent particles are in order, or the short range order part of amorphous solid is known as crystallites. So these were the important differences between crystalline solid and amorphous solid. Over the period, when after some years you can see that window of old building, and if that window is made up of glass, then it turns into milky, because during the daytime heating of that window takes place. We know that during summer season temperature remains very high, it is 40 degrees Celsius, it reaches up to 40, 45, 50 degrees Celsius temperature, 30 to 40 degrees Celsius. So during daytime in summer season, due to heating, glassy materials gets heat, and during the night cooling takes place. So due to alternate cooling and heating, during daytime heating, nighttime cooling, again during daytime heating, nighttime cooling. So due to this alternate heating and cooling effect, this window glass turns milky. The reason for turning this into milky is conversion of this amorphous solid into crystalline solid due to regular heating and then cooling for 6 to 7 hours during summer season. Over the time, this amorphous solid converts into crystalline solid, and because of this conversion, the window of old buildings from transparent glass sheet, it converts into milky. So these changes takes place when crystalline amorphous solid converts into crystalline solid. So if we sum up the main difference between crystalline and amorphous solid, we can sum up this. This is crystalline solid, and this one is amorphous solid. So the first point is it has long range order. It has long range order. Crystalline solid shows long range order, while amorphous solid shows short range order. Constituent particle shows short range order or no definite order. Now second is, if we talk about the shape of crystalline solid, shape of crystalline solid is fixed, it does not change. Shape of crystalline solid is fixed. In case of window of old buildings, we know that it becomes thick at the bottom and thin at the top, so shape is not fixed. Shape may change due to very high viscosity. Very high viscosity. In case of crystalline solid, we can say that it is true solid. True solid. While in case of amorphous solid, it is known as super cooled liquid. This one is known as super cooled liquid. Crystalline solid possesses sharp melting point. It has sharp melting point. Crystalline solids possess sharp melting point, while in case of amorphous solid, no sharp melting point. It does not possess sharp melting point. Next, if we see the heat of fusion is fixed, or heat of fusion is definite. They have definite heat of fusion. But if we talk about the heat of fusion of amorphous solid, no definite heat of fusion. It does not has definite heat of fusion. Heat of fusion. It does not have definite heat of fusion. If we talk about next point, then crystalline solid is anisotropic. It is anisotropic, while amorphous solid is isotropic. If we talk about amorphous solid, it is isotropic. Amorphous solid is isotropic. So these are the differences of crystalline solid and amorphous solid. Hope you have understood types of solid. There are two types of solid, crystalline solid and amorphous solid. We have discussed in detail the differences between these two types of solids. Next, we will discuss types of crystalline